Let's find out if Nissan's smallest crossover is great for booting around the city in. My name is Jay, Steph's on vacation, and this is Modern Motoring. Welcome to your 2022 Nissan Kicks. Steph's on vacation, so it's just you and I today. Carryover model from last year, and in 2021, that was the big mid-cycle refresh where it got fairly redesigned, new front end, lots of new design elements, and it looks pretty good to me. And for Nissan's smallest offering, it's pretty impressive, and I'll get through some of the details as we go along, but let's start with the driving side of things. So all 5 trims of the Nissan Kicks gets a 1.6 cylinder, 4-cylinder engine, and it's 122 horsepower, 114 pound-feet of torque, all through a CVT. Because it's got a smaller footprint, it's easier to drive and maneuver and park, whether it's forwards, backwards, or parallel. Nissan says best fuel consumption in its class for gasoline only. Now there's the CHR, the HRV, the Kona, the Seltos, the Soul to a bit of a lesser degree, but there's a fair amount of competition here. Also the CX-30, which has excellent driving dynamics. So as far as driving goes, it's not going to be as good as the Mazda, for example, but it won't be as dull as, say, the Kia or perhaps the CHR. But the Kicks holds its own. It's not especially fast, but keep in mind it's not designed to be fast. This is designed to be a commuter car, get you to and from. Again, it's Nissan's smallest offering, it's Nissan's most affordable offering as far as the crossover CUV market goes, and it does it pretty well. You know, just because it's not fast doesn't mean it's not good. There's no unsafe car in 2022. So what I'm going to do is give you a quick audio sample of what the CVT sounds like. So I'm going to round this bend and I'm going to slow down a little bit, and I'm just going to pass these trucks that you'll see in that window right there. So I'm at 30 now. Just take a listen. And again, with no traditional gears, being a CVT, it gets a little loud. The workaround for that is to get the SR Premium, which has the upgraded 8-speaker Bose audio system. But as far as regular driving goes around the city, it does extremely well. Again, it's quite nimble. Again, not especially fast, but consider the classic car that you're looking at here in the subcompact crossover market. I mentioned that Nissan says this has the best fuel consumption in its class. On a 41-liter fuel tank, it's 7.7 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 6.6 on the highway, and a blended total of 7.2. The Kicks is only front-wheel drive for now. Maybe they'll throw up an all-wheel drive version at some point, but for now, just the front 2 wheels are spinning. A little more on the driving side of things, a little dull on the steering, and I can't really fault Nissan for that, only because it's their smallest offering. And yes, there are different offerings that they have in their lineup if you want something with a little more liveliness to it, but it's not a shot against the Kicks because you're not really expecting a lively and fully responsive steering here. What you see is what you get, and for a price point that maxes out around $25,000, the Kicks is pretty impressive. Let's jump to the exterior. Again, nothing's changed since 2021 was the big year for all of the key changes. Now up front, you still have that double V-motion grille. Not quite Lexus size, but it's definitely growing, and I'm not sure it suits the Kicks, having this big, massive front end, big grille, and having a smaller footprint. And it's a taller vehicle, and it's not as peculiar looking as that old Suzuki SX4 where it was short and tall. There's a little bit of length here that balances out the height, but overall the Kicks isn't a bad looking vehicle. And the benefit of having something taller is you get a little more headroom for yourself and your passengers, and most importantly, you get a little more cargo space going from bottom to top. This again is the SR Premium, and it's got the upgraded wheels, which don't look too bad. This is the orange paint color with the black roof, so you have the two-tone option here, and knew I was going to mess up on that. Nothing really offensive about the way the Kicks looks. It looks good. You do get some body lines here going from the front door to the rear door, and it goes from bottom to top, and it's pretty noticeable. Opening up the tailgate, pretty easy, just a one-touch button, and up and off you go. A couple of dips in the hood, just for a little bit of flair. It does have some not quite sharper angles, but they're not smooth lines. Nothing's wrong with that at all, just something that adds character to the Kicks. On the interior, let's start with the dashboard. I like how Nissan's integrated both a digital aspect, which is on the right side and part of the middle, as well as the analog speedometer, which is on the right side. And everything's easy to see, easy to read, fully configurable like you would expect from any modern digital dashboard. Steering wheel has all your controls on it, and it's a nice thin wheel. It feels good, doesn't have any peculiar spots on it, and I've done almost 500 clicks on it. And it's been fine to hang on to. It's not overly chunky, it's not too thin, and it's something you hang on to every time you drive the car. I think steering wheels are a little on the underrated side. Moving over to the infotainment system, easy to navigate, not too much lag. Does have CarPlay, does have Android Auto, it's got your hard touch buttons, it's got dials. So to me, it's got the best of everything. The audio system for the SR Premium with the 8-speaker Bose audio sounds really good. I think, from what I recall, the 6-speaker system sounds okay, but with only $50 to $100 separating the base trim from the top trim, and only a little bit separating the SR from the SR Premium, I would go top trim if I was looking at buying a Kicks. Just below that is your HVAC, dials and hard touch buttons on a small little black and white screen in the middle. It's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. You do have heated seats here, as well as a nice, easy layout that gives you no issues. Muscle memory after, I'd say, a month of driving this would have you easily just feeling your way through it instead of having to look down while you're on the highway going at some higher speeds. You have a little bit of storage just underneath. You got some USB ports. Gear shift it's fine, but there's the L button there, and I don't know how many people are actually going to use the L component of the gear selector. It should just be PRND. Somebody does, or Nissan thinks somebody is going to, which is why it's there. I could definitely do without it. Below that, you got your cup holders. Sorry, behind that, you've got your cup holders, and the armrest has a decent amount of storage for what it is. Interesting note, there are no sunroof options on any of the Nissan Kicks. I'm a little disappointed, but from a practical standpoint, there is a lighter headliner, as you can see. It's gray, so it still has a open-ish and airy feel. It's not too closed in. Now, if this was a black headliner slash roof liner, I think that might be a little too closed in for me, but for what this is, coupled with the tall windows, there's that bit of an outside the claustrophobia feel for me. Now, the dash is black, the A-pillar is black. There's a lot of plastic. You can hear it here. It's hard to fault Nissan for this because it's their most affordable crossover. Not great. Maybe future Kicks models, maybe the next generation of Kicks models may have something that's a little softer. But for now, you can hear it all the way through. Doesn't bother me too much. Now, if this was a Qashqai or a Rogue or a Pathfinder, then I'd have a little more of a stronger point to make. But for what this is, I don't have any issues with it at all. One thing that impresses me about the Kicks thoroughly is, regardless of trim, whether it's the $20,000 S or the $25,000 SR Premium, standard safety is high. So what you get with every Kicks is the blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, lane departure warning, rear automatic braking, intelligent emergency braking, as well as high beam assist. Top trim does get you a 360 cam. Pretty good, Nissan. For 20,000 bucks, the safety is pretty impressive here. I think it should be a bigger selling feature than it is. Yes, I know safety is a part of the buying decision, and I wish it was a larger part of the decision because, well, being safe on the road is important. One interesting point about the safety side, specifically the blind spot monitoring, Nissan has put it inside the vehicle as opposed to having it on the outside mirrors to let you know when someone's in your blind spot, and that's really smart because it doesn't get covered by snow or slush or dirt or anything, and just a nice clean design. The seats are pretty comfortable. You get upgraded seats with the SR Premium. Again, the 500 clicks that I've done, not really much driver fatigue. Now, I haven't done long trips. It's about 50-50 between city and highway, but for what they are, pretty comfortable for me. Again, I'm going back to this theme. Remember the class of vehicle this is it. That's going to wrap it up for the review on the 2022 Nissan Kicks. Nissan's smallest offering ranges between $20,000 and $25,000 before any kind of destination taxes and fees and all that. So the price is right. Competition is the Venue, the Seltos, the Soul, the CHR, the HRV. So there's a fair amount of players in the market, and yes, the Mazda CX-30, which I've forgotten twice now, once at the beginning and once at the end. But if you're looking for a subcompact crossover, at least put this on your medium list. Take it for a test drive, see what you like, see what you don't like about it. If you've got any questions on the 2022 Nissan Kicks, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to get you answers as soon as possible. Steph, I believe, is done with vacation, so she will be with us and me for the rest of the year. Thank you so much for watching, and feel free to join our digital community. We're on all major platforms. We'd love it if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel and support us on our journey. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.